You may have received a yellow envelope. You might be one of the lucky families to take one of these home. I've put inside here some really fantastic resources for you to use with your children over the distance learning period. What we've got in there, we've got a set of 10 readers. Most of the readers are decodable readers. That means that the words that are in there, children can break them up into the sounds easily. So there are all those tricky exceptions to the rules. They're pretty stock standard, easily decodable words. So there's 10 of those in there for you to use over a 2-week period. Also in your lovely pack, we have some little dots, which we're going to turn into hopefully happy faces. The kids can draw a little emoji on there, a little smiley face or sad face or excited face or whatever it is, but just to involve the kids, to get them involved in this process. I've got for you a alphabet chart, a laminated alphabet chart. Also some instructions if you'd like to just refresh yourself about what you need to do with this take-home pack, and some sight words. And also I've got a recording sheet for you to fill in to keep track of what you're doing at home with your child. So when we do return back on campus, we can see all the great things that you've been practicing with your child. So how do we do it? So it's actually pretty easy, even though there are lots of components in the pack. First of all, if you take out your take-home practice recording sheet and we go to the day that you start, so if you start on a Monday, all we do is we fill in with a tick. You can get your child to do it if you like. So first here it says alphabet, name and sound. So that is basically our alphabet chart. So all we do is with our child, and for those in foundation, it may be at first that you're doing it and your child's copying you until they get more confident with it. So what we do is we go through and we say A, so the letter name, A is for apple, and get your child to point along. B is for bear, b. C is for caterpillar, k. And we go right through with our child and make sure they're pointing. And the reason is because we want to associate the sound. We don't just want them to memorize the sound, although we do, but we want them to also take note of what letter they're pointing to. So that's why we've got their uppercase and lowercase letters. So your children just do this side. On the back is a couple of other blends that they'll be learning and double letters that they'll be learning in foundation. But for the purpose of this intervention, we just simply want to do the front one. So practice with them first. Once they've got the hang of it, they'll be whizzing along in no time saying A is for apple, B, and they'll start doing it by themselves independently. Once they've done that, all we do, get your child just to give it a tick and move on to the next one. The next one says practice sight words. So the sight words, you have different coloured sight words, and the first is yellow, and that basically is in most things, something like 90% of all things children will read will have those words in it. They're called sight words because we want them to recognise them by sight. So the purpose of these, and sometimes parents will say, oh, they know them. And then when we go and test them, they don't know them off by heart. So we're looking for that automaticity. So, for example, with her, they may look at that and start sounding it out. Her, her. That's not knowing it straight away. So what we want to do is have the child straight away look at the word and say her. Then we know that's one that they do recognise by sight. If they look at this one and they say, I don't know, just tell them. So we keep it really light. Just say, that says you. Let's have a good look at it. Take a photo with your eyes. You. Okay. And just let your children know that some of these words we just have to remember by sight, because some of them have quite difficult spelling patterns in them. And as they go along, they'll learn those. But to help ease of reading and build that fluency, sight words are really important at the start. So we go through, with my daughter, I used to make a pile. So I used to say if she said he, I'd put that in the she knows it straight away pile. If she said had, I'm guessing, or if she starts sounding out, pop it in another pile, and then slowly get your pile sorted and run through it with her and say, what does this say? Have. Say it after me, have. For. Say it after me, for. And then I used to put them in a pile and move them around and say, point to the word for. Point to the word have. And I would keep playing these silly little games and make it really silly. So is that really quick? Like, for, have, and play little games, make it fun. The last thing we want is them to feel stressed and overwhelmed. And by this repetition, they will certainly learn these sight words. It's just going to take us a little bit of time. And the red, there are lots of sight words. So you might want to divide it in half and concentrate on maybe half first and half later. The yellow words, there are less, so you can just do them all at once. So once you've run through those, again, we take our little sheet and we give it a tick. We ask our kids to give it a tick. The last part is just simply reading a book. So in your pack of 10 books, you can have your child select a book they'd like to read, and they can go ahead and read the words. There's some great words in the back to practice too, so you might even like to do, depending on the mood of your child, if they've got energy or they're too tired, you don't need to bother. Pick another day to do it, but there are some words that will be in the text, so you might like to even run through with your kids doing that first before you read. So this book is about Nan, and at the start this is going to be very laborious because they're learning to connect the sounds with what they see on the page. And this is a really, it's a challenging time for kids. So again, keep it positive. Praise their efforts. If they're starting to get flustered or frustrated, you can tell them words. Say, hey, look, this says nan. Look at this. Nan. It says nan. And just move on and let them have another go. I know when my daughter's very old now, but when she was young, particularly my eldest, we really struggled with reading, and she was quite resistant to reading. So there's nothing wrong with, if your child is really emotional one day or tired, to read the book to them. Still record it, but just put read book by Mum read book or something like that. Sometimes what I'd find with my daughter is once I'd start reading one page to her, by the time I finished that, I would often say, do you want to have a go at this page? And then she'd join in, and we'd read one page each. And that's how we got around it. And then once her confidence built up, she could then read the book, the whole book by herself. So don't feel pressure if they're in a mood and they don't want to do it, that's fine. Record that and have a go tomorrow, but keep it light and keep it, positive. And I think that's really important. So we tick that one off. There's a space here that says parent-student comments. So if there's anything you would like to write, teacher comments. Unfortunately, with COVID, we're not going to be having, the teachers' daily comments about this, but just put yours in here. And there's stickers, which are the smiley faces, hopefully smiley faces, but sad face if it was a bit tricky today, or whatever the faces your child wants to put in. They can choose a little sticker and put it in here and draw their little face on it. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense for you. As I said, there is more instructions here if you forget or you want to remind yourself, but really it's quite simple. Once you get going, you'll find it should only take 15-20 minutes. And we'll return your pack, so not your whole pack, because this yellow pack is for you to keep at home, but please return your books at the end of the fortnight, as we do for take-home packs. So return them to school, and I shall swap you over a different set of books to read for the next fortnight. Likewise, if you find your child has mastered this set of words and would like the next set of words to challenge themselves on, pop that in here as well, and then I'll know that means that we need to go up to the next level. I think that's it from me. So thank you so much for your support, and I really look forward to seeing kids by the end of the term or at the end of next term reading beautifully and getting all excited about what they can do with reading and how they can learn through reading. So any questions, please always give me an email or email your child's teacher. We're more than happy to help. All right, good luck and have fun.